Yeah, blustery, windy conditions greet us at Rockdale Ilinden Sports Centre for this round 26 NPL Men's New South Wales match of the round between top place Rockdale Ilinden and they host third placed APIA Leichhardt. Rockdale, who've got a terrific record here at home, having won their last 9 matches in a row. And they come here against a team they've yet to beat this year. And after coming off last week's... Okay. Yeah, here at Rockdale Ilinden Sports Centre for this round 26 NPL Men's New South Wales match of the round. And it's blustery, windy conditions, but an absolute blockbuster awaits us. Top of the table, Rockdale Ilinden looking to bounce back after last week's dramatic 1-0 loss late on against Sydney Olympic. It got quite windy at the back end of that. Did it sound okay though? Yeah. Let me know. I mean, I'm happy to go down if you... Jeez. Wait a sec. Boys, you can't watch the game in here. I'm calling, I can't hear there'll be too much noise. So not in here. Testing. We're at the Rockdale Ilinden Sports Centre for round 26 of the NPL Men's New South Wales. Good afternoon, everybody. Tony Tanous in commentary with you from the Rockdale Ilinden Sports Centre for round 26 NPL Men's New South Wales Match of the Round. And what a blockbuster we've got for you. Top placed Rockdale Ilinden looking to bounce back after a dramatic loss last week against Sydney Olympic deep in stoppage time. Against the team sitting in third spot, last year's premiers, APIA Leichhardt. And this one promises to be an absolute beauty. Sit back, relax. Football and New South Wales YouTube is your spot. This all-important Super Sunday of round 26 of the NPL Men's New South Wales. Both these sides coming off losses last week. APIA have come into this on the back of a big run of matches, 6 games in 18 days over the past few weeks. And they've dropped off the pace as far as the premiership chase is concerned, but they can still make a big impact at the top of the ladder. Rockdale have Marconi Stallions breathing down their neck. The Stallions are on a great run, and that sees them come into this round, or this match, 3 points behind Rockdale. So Rockdale will know the importance of bouncing back after last week's loss to Olympic. It is time to take a look at the lineup as the respective skippers, Alec Urushevsky and Adrian Uccino, come together with match official Stephen Lucas. And for the home side, Rockdale Ilinden, Nick Stavroulakis names the following starting 11. In goals, Nick Souris. The back four of Hunter Elliott, Daniel Collins, Roberto Esperanza and Giorgio Esperanza. The midfield trio are Isaac Danso, Dean Pelikanos and Brendan Chalakian. And it's a front three of Lockie Constable, Alec Urushevsky and Yinka Sunmola. 3 changes also for the visitors, APIA Leichhardt. Franco Parisi names the following 11. Anthony Buzanis in goals. The back four, Dakota Rescue, Temba Muatamalo, Josh Simmons and Saya Kambayashi. The midfield trio, Adrian Uccino, Maxim Kasalovic gets his first start alongside Jack Armson in that midfield. And that's a front three of Jack Stewart, Rory Jordan on the flanks, and leading the line, Ben Gibson. Sit back, relax, it will be the home side. Rockdale Ilinden in their traditional red and black are running from right to left. A much important game. They've had a terrific record here at home. Rockdale coming into this 9 wins in a row. And they get it going. The Speranza brothers combining down this left-hand side. And now Sunmola, one of the 3 changes in the starting 11 today, coming in for Bay Antonio in that front third. 2 of the real hot-to-trot teams in NPL New South Wales football, as Gibson asks an early question of the central defensive pairing. That new-look central defensive pairing today, part of those 3 changes for Nick Stavroulakis, with Daniel Collins and Robbie Speranza coming in for Blake Rasciuto and Lockie Griffiths. That was a good, positive early run forward from Ben Gibson. Very blustery conditions, not an easy conditions for the goalkeepers to deal with. And Jack Armson, we know all about his flat trajectory type deliveries. Let's see if he can get some control on this early one. It's a great ball, and it was an early chance. And Gibson couldn't get his header on target. He did well to win the free kick. He attacked that one, got the header on, but it wasn't on target. We saw last week in our match of the round where APIA travelled away to Sydney United 58. They had some great chances early on. In fact, Gibson in the opening minute or 2 had some chances. And they were ultimately punished for not being able to finish in the front third. Sydney United 58 coming away with the 2-0 victory in that round 25 match of the round. Now, APIA have had a difficult run of late, as I mentioned in the intro. This is the 7th game for them in 22 days. A massive run of fixtures with some catch-up games, Cups football as well. And here's Gibson looking very lively early on, really putting the pressure on Rockdale. They've been pleased with their performances. The results haven't quite gone as well as they would have liked. And Kambayashi looks to deliver this one in, asking a question of Soros. Gibson stayed down after that contact. There were appeals there from the APIA players. And Gibson's just holding his head as Stephen Lucas, an experienced official, brings a stop to the proceedings to make sure he gets some treatment. But a great start here for the visitors. We're only a couple of minutes in and they're asking question after question, and Gibson, a central figure in the early exchanges. Gibson, who is APIA's top scorer after making the move across from Sydney FC in the off-season. Coming into this round 26 match with 16 goals so far for the campaign. And he's looked very dangerous early on. Might have been disappointed not to have got that header from Armson's free kick on target. He's got on with business, asked a couple of questions already since. And Rockdale have got the pressure on them at the moment. They've got this impeccable home record. They're on the back foot early on. Forward it goes from Speranza. Here's the cross now. Stewart, the wind, picking that one up. He got some height on that delivery, and as soon as it got aerial, very windy conditions, and it's favouring APIA in this first half. You might be able to see the flags as we pan across to the grandstand. Throughout the coverage, you'll see some flags blowing in the direction that APIA are running in this first half. Forward it goes from Soros. Strong climb from Uchino up against Chalakian, two of the experienced central midfielders. And now Chalakian, who's had a terrific season, back to his vintage best. Now he gets it out to Sunmola. He'll be looking to make an impact. Coming around is Speranza. Great delivery inside. Constable's trying to get on the end of it. Here is Danso. And now Urushevsky. Back to Constable. The shot on target. But it was straight at the keeper in Anthony Buzanis. But great early action. We've seen it at both ends already. This one, two of the real attacking, potent sides in our competition. Let's hope it continues to provide the thrills and spills in the opposition boxes at both ends. Terrific early raid there from Rockdale. They've been on the back foot, but Speranza got forward. And then Urushevsky and Constable went to work inside the box. And they've got this great record at home. 8 wins in a row, 9 wins for the season here at the Rockdale Ilinden Sports Centre. They've only tasted defeat once this campaign. And that was way back in round 6 against Blacktown City. Only one loss and one draw here. And that draw also came very early in the season against the Marconi Stallions. Back in round 2. So since then, 8 wins on the spin here at Rockdale. But they have lost the only match between these two sides this season. APIA tasting victory back in round 11 at in fact it was at Leichhardt Oval, a game which APIA dominated. They came away with a 3-2 victory. Rockdale were bitterly disappointed on that afternoon. They've bounced back. They've been the runaway competition leaders for the majority of the season, but things have got extremely tight just in the last couple of weeks with Marconi's terrific run. Here's Daniel Collins under a bit of pressure from Armson. No chances taken by Soros. If you've been following the competition over the last few weeks, you would have seen the result, the shocking result, the unbelievable result, where Marconi inflicted a 9-0 victory over Rockdale. Since then, Marconi have gone from strength to strength after beating both APIA and Rockdale. That's a nice idea there from Josh Simmons. Here's Giorgio Speranza going to work defensively. Nice little touch there from Sunmola. And now Rockdale can look to go forward quickly into counter-attack. Constable ducks inside. Dunsall, who's pulling the strings as usual. A real metronome at the base of Rockdale's midfield. Now Sunmola, delighted to get a start today. Of course, the news around Matthew Cordier, the unfortunate leg injury which you saw here in our match of the round. a fortnight ago against Sydney United 58. Suffering that horrible leg break. Been in touch with Matthew over the last couple of weeks. He has had his operation. He's on the road to recovery. We wish him all the best. Been a real central figure for Rockdale throughout season 2024. One of the standout players, attracting a lot of attention with his performances. Such an unfortunate injury, but on the road to recovery, having had his operation. That means that there is a vacancy on the left side of the attack, and today Yinka Sunmola gets his opportunity. Coming into the starting 11 for Baya Antonio. Under pressure here, Collins. Quick press by Rory Jordan down that far side. Working back was Hunter Elliott. Now that Roberto Speranza. Not hesitating. Knowing that his central defensive partner was over on that right-hand side. He had to read the play quickly. He read the play well. Got a cross there. Those three changes for Rockdale: Sunmola, Roberto Speranza and Daniel Collins from that dramatic 2-1 loss to Sydney Olympic last week over at Nostrata Jubilee. What scenes they were after Rockdale had dominated the first half, not been able to capitalise on their domination. They kept Olympic in it, and Olympic made them pay in the second half with Teng Quol popping up with a 94th minute winner as the ball comes across from that right-hand side. Constable, not easy to control the crossing in these very blustery conditions. How do Rockdale respond? They've shown real resilience throughout the season. We're missing their coach in Paul D, who's made way for the next 5 or 6 weeks. Nick Stavroulakis will be taking over the duties along with Vedran Jaganchak. They'll look to keep the momentum that they've built throughout the season. It's been a wonderful campaign. They're looking for their first big success, or their first official title since 1984. And they were crowned champions of the New South Wales top tier. They did, of course, win the premiership in the shortened, abbreviated season 2020, the COVID-interrupted campaign. They're looking to make this one official in season 2024, chasing that first past the premiership position. They've been the pace setters throughout the campaign, a bit like we saw from Ariana Titmus last night in the 400 freestyle. The pace setter got the job done. Rockdale will be looking to do the same in season 2024. APIA, last year's premiers, will look to make an impact today. They start the round 11 points behind Rockdale after a difficult last 4 matches. Spoken about the cluster of games that Franco Parisi's men have had. This is their 7th match in 22 days. They're under pressure here. Rockdale. Clearance coming. We featured APIA in the match of the round back in round 23 at home at Lambert Park. They came from behind for a 3-2 victory over the Sutherland Sharks. We mentioned at the time, 5 games in 15 days. A real important period for them. And as far as how that's all gone in that intervening period, they haven't had a victory since then in the NPL New South Wales. Here's Kasalovic. Getting his first start. One of 3 changes for Franco Parisi. Playing in a 3-man midfield. New signing from the Central Coast Mariners. He's already had a couple of stints off the bench. Here he is, involved in the build-up. The number 8 for APIA, winning the free kick for that challenge from behind. Since that victory over the Sharks, APIA have suffered a couple of losses and they've had a couple of draws, so only picked up 2 points from their subsequent 4 matches. Those losses coming against the Central Coast Mariners and last week against Sydney United 58. And in amongst that, a couple of 1-1 draws against the Wollongong Wolves and Sydney Olympic. So the momentum they were hoping to build has really slowed down. They had a good midweek victory in the Waratah Cup semi-final over at Blacktown City. And that was a game which did see them get on the score sheet early on, an area that they've really struggled of late. Been dominating and controlling games early on, not being able to punish their opponents. They did exactly that on Wednesday night. Right now it's Rockdale on the front foot. Nice switch out to that right-hand side with Constable combining with Elliott. In fact, they've been playing APIA not only their NPL commitments, of course, and 2 catch-up games against the Central Coast Mariners and Sydney Olympic over the past 3 weeks. They've also had the Waratah Cup semi-final, as I said. They really did a great job to get back on the winner's circle on Wednesday night. 3-0 they led at half-time. Ben Gibson back troubling the scorers again with a couple. They also got goals from Rory Jordan, Jordan Segredo and Jack Stewart. Goals have dried up in the NPL in recent weeks, but Franco Parisi, David DePuzzo, delighted to see 5 goals scored. I'll be hoping to continue that goal-scoring form. They are missing, though, a big name in Jordan Segredo. The unfortunate news to come out of that Waratah Cup semi-final win. Unfortunately, a foot injury for him. He will see the surgeon tomorrow, Jordan Segredo, so might spend a bit of time on the sideline. I hope and wish him a speedy recovery. He's been one of the real acquisitions in the NPL New South Wales this season. So no Jordan Segredo today. Also no Eddie Caspers, no Sean Simmons. Both those players succumbing to tight hamstring injuries. The loading that they've had over the last 3 weeks with those 6 games taking a toll. Some muscle-related injuries for APIA to deal with over the coming weeks, trying to get them back on the pitch. Just happy to keep a bit of possession here. Difficult windy conditions, so anything that goes aerial makes it a bit difficult to bring it under control. This time Rockdale happy to turn APIA around. Playing that one forward, looking for the run in behind of Urushevsky, is putting the pressure on here. Josh Simmons as ever, keeping his calm and composure. Cultured central defender. Nice first touch from Dakota Askew. And looking for that link up with Jack Stewart. Danso was in sharply, and now Sun Mola can look to find Chalakian. Trying to get a bit of room between the lines, but working back was Kasalovic, and now over the top, Gibson. He's got a chance to go in on goal. Ben Gibson! And he hits the crossbar under pressure in the end. The work was from Hunter Elliott in defensive transition, but Gibson got to it ahead of the defender. And the keeper in Suris came out, and the crossbar denying Gibson the early chance. They try and catch Suris out. It's mentioned the wind behind their back in this first period, APIA. And they're looking to take advantage of that anytime they spot Suris. Referee in Lucas just having a chat to the skipper in Urushevsky. Here's Roberto Esperanza. What a race it is now for the premiership. We thought that Rockdale were really running away with things, but with 4 rounds to go after this one, you just never know the twists and turns of the NPL New South Wales. And Rockdale, who lost to Marconi in round 20, they rebounded with 4 straight wins over the likes of Blacktown City, Hills United. As Rory Jordan looks to take on Elliott. Now he looks for the combination play with Stewart, who doesn't mind taking an effort from distance. I've seen him do that countless times over recent years in the NPL New South Wales. Ducking in on that left foot. Taking the long range shot. Trying to keep the pressure on Rockdale to come out. They keep their composure. And now Giorgio Esperanza, nice build up. Couldn't quite hit the feet there of Urushevsky. And Mwatamalo, one of the 3 players back in the starting 11 today for the visitors. That run of 4 wins from Rockdale over Blacktown, Hills, Spirit FC, and then Sydney United. At the Waratah Cup semi-final here against Spirit FC, and it was 5 wins in a row for Rockdale. They bounced back after that 9-0 loss to the Stallions. But last week they tasted defeat again for only the 4th time this season, as Cambiashi looks to go in the box. He looks for the cutback. Gibson was trying to get on the end of it, and Robbie Speranza, not for the first time this afternoon, reading it well, getting across to get the block in. Good early work from Cambiashi getting forward from left back today. No Michael Kuda, no Sean Simmons. Both those players joining the list of players out with injury for APIA. They've got this opportunity to get this delivery in. They go towards an e-post. Kasalovic attacked it. Now Cambiashi, who's equally comfortable on both sides of the pitch. Watamalo taking no risks in defensive transition as the wind gusts again. Might hear that coming through our ground effects. Mike, we've got our sports crew, cast crew out here, bringing you the footage as always. In our commentary position. Rockdale up against it in this first half. Josh Simmons looks to go forward. Here's Roberto Speranza, just composed, knocking it down to Sunmola. He can't keep it though. And Uchino gives it away as well. Battle for possession here. A real indicator of the quality of the NPL New South Wales, the high quality of the pressing. It's a real feature. The conditioning of the teams, the want to really dominate with their pressing games. A real feature at the top of the competition. We saw Marconi to great effect last night in that big derby against Sydney United 58. I had a 2-1 victory. They really hit Sydney United in the early part of the match with their high press. And it is something that these two teams love to do as well, as Sunmola looks inside for Urushevsky. And it was Josh Simmons just staying alert defensively. Good battle on this near side. Dakota Askew and Sunmola both coming into the starting 11 today, respectively, for their two coaches. Keep an eye on that battle as Sunmola looks to provide an option here. Goes instead to Chalakian. Askew just happy to let that one run over the byline. One of 3 games taking place as we are past the midway point of the first half. No score yet here at the Rockdale Ilinden Sports Centre. Tony Tanous with you, live and exclusive on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel. 3 games to wrap up round 26. Keep you posted on progress at the other 2 matches. Currently, the Central Coast Mariners playing against St George City, currently leading by 1-0. They're currently heading into this Super Sunday in the bottom 2 positions on the ladder, so if they can pick up the 3 points today, they've seen a couple of big results already this weekend with the Sutherland Sharks having a win on Friday night against Manly United. Stephen Zorich's side starting to pick up points at the right time of the season. We also saw St George FC with a big win yesterday. A 3-2 victory over a team also threatened around that relegation area in Hills United. So a big victory for Steve Karavitzakis' side. And the Central Coast Mariners have got off to the perfect start. I'll keep you posted on progress there, as well as the other match, which is over at Landon Stadium, but the Western Sydney derby between Blacktown City and the Western Sydney Wanderers. Right now we've got a free kick. We've got Robbie Speranza over this one. It's a 4-man wall that's been set up. We don't often see Robbie Speranza over the dead ball, but he's taken rein here and he's got the opportunity. Within shooting range, Buzanis has set up a 4-man wall, and here is Roberto Speranza straight into Askew. He dinks it over the top, and now a great lay down in the end. Pelikanos couldn't get his shot on target. A nice little touch from Urushevsky. Unselfish work by the captain and striker just to lay it down into the path of Pelikanos. After the initial effort from Roberto Speranza was blocked, he got a second chance just to dink that one into the 18-yard box. Here is Muatamalo, quickly pressed by Urushevsky. Back now through Buzanis. Urushevsky trying to make life difficult for APIA, coming out of defence. So good at pinching the ball high and going quickly. Part of the principles that we see here at Rockdale, as Speranza takes no chances. Constable does really well on that far side. What about the skill here from Constable? And was he upended? Yes, he was. He gets the reward for that excellent bit of skill and technique. Referee Stephen Lucas just having a chat to Josh Simmons. Might be a final warning for him. Part of the season where the yellow cards can really make an impact as they start to mount. When you add the flurry of games, the players out injured, you can't afford to be having too many out suspended as well. It's hot in the midfield yet again. Speranza launching it forward. Urushevsky's going to take it on here, and he couldn't quite get the contact. He was looking to tee it up for Sunmola, who was inside, just holding up in the wind there. And that's the danger for APIA when any ball goes in behind. the wind behind their back, but it can work against them because it does hold up the ball a bit, as we just seen there. This time, Suris with the confidence to come out. Hunter Elliott with a great first touch. Still going. Kasalovic showing his physical prowess in that midfield. Let's pick up during the transfer window. Player who's impressed in the NPL over at the Central Coast Mariners over the last couple of seasons. He's made the move across to APIA like Jordan Segreto. Seen quite a number of Central Coast Mariners Academy players come into the NPL New South Wales this season. Marconi's got a number on their books as well. Kasalovic hoping to take his starting opportunity today. Mentioned the action kicked off on Friday night with that important 3 points for the Sutherland Sharks over Manly United. They've got another huge game next week against the Central Coast Mariners. A real 6-pointer. Stephen Lucas having a good view of that, just pointing to his left arm, saying that it came off Urushevsky's arm. Urushevsky thought he'd almost got him behind the APIA defence. There's Moatamalo under pressure. Now Uchino forward. Stewart couldn't quite keep it under control. Another big win on Friday night. The Wollongong Wolves with a 5-1 victory over Sydney FC, which keeps Sydney in the bottom two for now. The threat of relegation for the team that finishes bottom. 4 rounds to go. The race to avoid the bottom two, particularly that bottom spot, which is an automatic relegation. Of course, second last will be up against the team that finishes second in Football New South Wales League 1 competition. That one continues to be a real battle at the top of Football New South Wales League 1. Currently, the Mount Druitt Town Rangers just ahead of Bulls Academy by 2 points. Those two sides looking to rebound and come back up to the top tier. Whoever finishes top will be automatically back up to the top flight. Whoever finishes second will take on the team that finishes 15th in NPL New South Wales. Over 2 legs, 2 much anticipated post-season matches, promotion and relegation scraps. And of course this year, finals football back after APIA won the title last year with a first past the post victory. And they set the pace throughout, finishing ahead of Rockdale in the end. Finals football is back this season. We've got a 2-week post-season lined up with the top 6. The 2 teams that finish 1 and 2 will get the week off, that initial week where there'll be 2 elimination finals between 3rd and 6th and 4th and 5th. And the winners of those will take on 1 and 2. The highest ranked team taking on the team that finishes second. The lowest ranked winner of those first week of the finals taking on the premiers. Rockdale have set the pace throughout the season. They'll know the job is not quite done just yet. APIA mathematically not yet out of it, but they'll need quite the miracle of things to turn around for them to be in with a premiership hope this season. And they're still fighting on plenty of fronts with the finals campaign, as well as the Waratah Cup final. And this is a great chance here as Armson tests Soros, who got down sharply. A nice bit of combination play. The build-up coming down the right-hand side. And it was Armson taking a first-time effort out of central midfield. Saw him score a hat-trick in that 3-2 victory over the Sharks back in round 23 to take him to 8 for the campaign after his double figures effort last season. Here's Chalakian just fouling Armson after losing the ball. It was Uchino who was just pinching it for APIA. Here's Kambiashi. Weight of the ball's excellent, particularly given the windy conditions. Working back though was Elliott, who's really relishing the opportunity to get consistent game time at right back since that round 20 9-0 loss where Braden Sorge, stalwart of the NPL New South Wales, suffered a leg injury. It's been Hunter Elliott who's taken the opportunity after his move from Manly in that right back role. Saw APIA ask a question from a corner towards the near post. This time they go a little bit deeper, and Speranza had to be there to deal with it. Still alive on the edge of the box. And now Moatamalo, but it's a foul that's been given away by Uchino. Just biting in a bit too much. Good to catch up with Braden Sorge. He's still got the Moonbird on, but I understand that will come off midweek. He's hoping that that will come off on Wednesday, and then a couple of weeks we might see Sorge back in the mix. First 20 rounds, they had a pretty good run without too many injuries, Rockdale, but the injury to Sorge, and now Cordier, who's fortunately season over for him. They've got to show the depth of their quality. It is very much a squad game with now our second year of 30 round regular season. In the past with 22 rounds, you maybe get away with a couple of injuries. Maybe the depth of the squad didn't need to be as big, but increasingly, as the number of games have increased, the threat of injuries, suspensions, the lengthier season can test the depth of squads as APIA moving around nicely. Armson out to that left-hand side. Kambiashi forward again. He was looking for Gibson. And there was Pelikanos on this occasion working back out of central midfield. Doing the job of central midfielder. Making sure that there's cover if there's any space on the flanks that's been exploited. Great work out of the midfield there. Type of work that coaches love. Often goes unnoticed. Stephen Lucas just sorting out a bit of push and shove around the 6-yard box with Gibson involved. Jack Stewart's in there. Daniel Collins, two former Blacktown City players. Collins has the job on Stewart at the set pieces, it looks like, this afternoon. Here is Uchino. Moatamalo, showing how important he is whenever he's been missing in recent weeks. Like last weekend, they did suffer that loss against Sydney United 58. Crucial player for APIA. Delighted to have him back alongside Josh Simmons this afternoon. Here's Kasalovic. Now Askew. Josh Simmons does love to carry it forward. Kasalovic starting to pick up the touches. Here's Stewart. Giorgio Esperanza taking a high position. Is there room in behind? Stewart tries to exploit it. Difficult one to bring under control. Can give you a further update from the Central Coast. St George City have equalised after Central Coast took the lead in the opening minute. Looks like Jason Romero has equalised. Duarte with the effort for the Central Coast Mariners, and Jason Romero with the equaliser for St George City. 1-1 it is. No score yet over at Landon Stadium. Blacktown City up against the Wanderers there. No score here if you're just joining us. Tony Tanous with you. Spread the word. Join the conversation. The hashtag NPL NSW. Some big games to come for both these sides. I mentioned the Waratah Cup final as Armson tries his luck from a long way out. We will, of course, confirm details. Keep an eye on Football New South Wales, NPL New South Wales socials for all the details around the Waratah Cup final. These two sides having big victories in the semi-final. Rockdale 5-0 here over Spirit FC. And then Wednesday night, APIA on the road against Blacktown. Sets up another blockbuster, very enticing game between these two sides. As Gibson, he can try and slide it in behind. Armson made the run through, and the credit to the keeper in Soros, who came out sharply, and his big body was able to do the job. He made it difficult for Armson, and he got the block on. Unfortunately for Rockdale, it stuck with the keeper as well. He's come in for Harrison Deveni-Schmeers in recent weeks. Transfer window pickup as Jack Stewart tries to tee this one up. Kasalovic it is. He's got a skew available. Uchino out now to Jordan, who can't find Gibson. Collins was alert to that. Ball into feet. And this time Rockdale looks to go quickly into transition. Moatamalo bailing out his central defensive partner in Simmons. Mentioned the Waratah Cup final, but also Australia Cup fixtures to come. And that is a heavy challenge there from Chalakian on Uchino. And referee Stephen Lucas is going to have no choice there but to issue the yellow card. Uchino got to it first. And it's been a real battle in the opening 40-odd minutes of this match. The holding midfielder Uchino up against the crafty number 10 in Chalakian that time. Chalakian leaving a bit on the APIA skipper. And Stephen Lucas, no choice but to issue the first yellow card. Chalakian. There's another heavy challenge on that far side, and it's another one yellow card's quickly followed by another. Looked like the yellow card was issued to Kasalovic. Hunter Elliott, the player on the end of that tackle. We are into the final 5 minutes of this first half. Perhaps Nick Suris, the busier of the two keepers so far. Buzanis has had to make one save as Askew tries his luck again, trying to catch out Suris, not for the first time. We've seen that throughout the afternoon with the wind behind him. Dakota Askew with a heads-up play, and Suris was certainly backtracking there. Had to make sure his bearings were right, and that one wasn't goal-bound. There have been a couple of those frights throughout the first half. It's been a tight affair. Both teams really trying to dominate with their press in the midfield. APIA have had the wind behind them. Rockdale won't be too disappointed to hold them up if they can avoid conceding in the first half with the wind they have faced in this first period. Here is Stewart. It's going to go through all the way to Armson. Great chance here, and Souris again comes up with the save. Armson was right through there as Gibson let that one run. And maybe the attacking central midfield will be disappointed not to have put it a little bit further to the side of Souris. The keeper got out sharply again. He's had a terrific start to this match. 2 or 3 times coming out quickly to make it real difficult for the APIA attackers. Here's Stewart again looking to get in behind Giorgio Speranza, who recovered well. Great opportunity there for Armson. He's had 2 or 3 of the best moments for APIA in this first half. Here's Kasalovic doing well just to hold the play up there and turn on that. Crafty bit of midfield play, and he's earned a free kick. We saw this at the start, almost the exact same position in the first minute of the half. Are we going to see a replica here? On that occasion, a great opportunity with Ben Gibson not able to get it on target. Are APIA able to create another chance from this set piece? Again, the wind playing a factor. You can see it ruffling the back of Souris's net. In it comes from Armson. Again, it's the low trajectory. Gets it forward. Here's Stewart. He might try and duck in. Instead, he tries to go around. Now it is Stewart trying to square it across. Not an easy one to deal with. Sunmola can look to come forward. Jordan alert to the rest defence responsibilities. That one a little bit too aggressive from Josh Simmons. The foul there on Hunter Elliott. Is that the final action? We did see the board go up just as we were waiting for that set piece to be taken. Only 1 minute of additional time. Our fourth official in Hayden Mickelmeyer just indicating that 1 additional minute has been a first half that has flowed end to end. As Rockdale look to build that 6-point buffer again at the top of the ladder. At various stages we've seen it go out to double figures, but as things stand at the end of this first half, it's a tight affair. APIA perhaps with the best opportunities falling particularly to Jack Armson, but Nick Souris has come up strong so far for the home side. They faced a strong wind in the first period, but they'll go into the break with a 0-0 draw, knowing that they can turn it around and have the wind behind them in the second period. It's set to be a terrific contest. Make sure you stick around on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel. 0-0, Rockdale APIA. Round 26, NPL Men's New South Wales. Top of the table clash, Rockdale Ilinden up against APIA Leichhardt. 0-0 is the score heading into this second half. The first half, the visitors, APIA, really dominating. 3 or 4 great opportunities to take the lead. Ben Gibson with a couple of moments, one of them striking the crossbar. Jack Armson with a couple of terrific chances as well. The keeper for Rockdale, Nick Soros, doing a really good job with a couple of key saves. Let's see how this second half plays out, such an important one. Rockdale looking to build their buffer at the top of the ladder. A point would keep them 4 points ahead of Marconi. 3 points would see them back out to 6 points ahead of the Stallions. APIA will be disappointed they couldn't take the lead into the halftime break. They'll be looking to start the second half, put the pressure on Rockdale. It's a big week coming up for the home side, Rockdale. They've got an Australia Cup fixture here on Wednesday night against A-League opposition in the Newcastle Jets. So make sure you come out here to the Rockdale Ilinden Sports Centre for that fixture on Wednesday night. A terrific opportunity for the team that's really been flying atop the NPL New South Wales ladder to make a big statement against A-League opposition. First half, which you have to say they probably played within themselves, maybe playing into the wind as well, had a bit of a factor there. APIA's pressure, their want to really get on the front foot, forced Rockdale back, and they're looking to force Rockdale back here with Armson. That one's comfortable for the keeper. Here is Elliott. No changes, it looks like, looking around the two squads at the half time. Break. Starting the second period as they did the first. Take you through the respective benches for the two sides. Rockdale Ilinden, they have a reserve keeper in Ricardo Rizzo. Then their outfield substitutes, defenders Lockie Griffiths, Blake Rashudo, who's adaptable, can play in defence or the midfield. They've also got another midfielder in So Kataoka, and a couple of attacking options as well in Bay Antonio and Bray Ovens. They're the substitutes at the disposal of Nick Stavroulakis. As for APIA, Franco Parisi lines up the following bench. Evan Davis is the reserve keeper. They've got Anthony Sparacino back in the fold for the first time since round 3. If he does come on, it'd be great to see him back out on the pitch after a foot injury. Broken ankle has kept him out for the majority of season 2024. They've also got Alex Denmead, Nick Azzoni, Luigi De Troia, and on the bench for the first time this season, the midfielder in Jared Massarola. They're the respective benches. As we said, APIA are missing quite a few this afternoon, though. Jordan Segredo suffered a toe injury on the midweek, in fact, against Blacktown City. After a couple of recent spectacular free kicks from him, including in that match. Also got Eddie Caspers, Sean Simmons out with hamstring injuries at the moment. There's a flurry of games that they had over the last 21 days has caught up on a couple of the players in the squad. Another one out today is Michael Cooter. He's also got muscle injuries. They will, for the first time in a few weeks, have a full week with no midweek matches. A rare full week to prepare for next week's home match against the Western Sydney Wanderers. Then after that, it's back on with 5 games in 15 days. Starting on the 3rd of August, where with a round 27 match against the Wanderers. Well, once that match next weekend, then after that, 5 games in 15. Wednesday, the 7th of August, against Olympic FC of the NPL Queensland competition. So they've got a trip away to Goodwin Park for round 32 of the Australia Cup. Then a midweek NPL match against Sydney FC. And followed potentially by a Waratah Cup final. 14th of August. Then the 17th of August, the 5th game in 15 days. Another clash in the NPL against Hills United. So the games continue to come thick and fast. That's what success does, though. APIA still alive in not only the NPL, but the Waratah Cup and the Australia Cup. It's the same with Rockdale. Their games, the more you keep winning, the more the games pile up at the back end of the season. It is a reward in many ways for success, but it isn't always easy to manage. Here's Speranza, combining with his brother, now launching it long. Give you an update from around the grounds. I said 3 simultaneous 3 p.m. kickoffs to round out round 26 of the NPL Men's New South Wales. No score at Landon Stadium. Here's Sunmola, he's got the numbers forward in support, but reading that beautifully was Saya Kambiashi. Credit to the left back who came across. Sunmola had 3 or 4 options, but Kambiashi showed his defensive qualities by reading that. Here's Elliott spraying it out again to Sunmola, who stayed on side. In fact, the flag eventually goes up, and that is going to be a free kick to APIA. No change to the update that we gave you before half-time over at Central Coast, where the Mariners are taking on St George City. 1-1, that remains early in the second period. Three matches last night with Spirit FC hosting Sydney Olympic, and Sydney Olympic, after their dramatic 2-1 victory over Rockdale last weekend, picked up another victory, this time on the road. Double from Roy O'Donovan got him a 2-1 victory over Spirit FC. The goals came early for Olympic on that occasion. They've provided plenty of late drama in season 2024. Good pressure there from Chalakian, forcing the error from Uchino. In fact, the referee, though, giving APIA the free kick. You can see that wasn't to the liking of the home fans. You might have heard that coming through our ground effects mic. Thought it was a fair challenge from Chalakian, but the referee saw otherwise, and APIA take it quickly. Mentioned the other results from last night. St George FC with a big 3-2 victory, big in the context of it being a real 6-pointer against Hills United. Hills United, who've been a little bit up and down recently. They've had a couple of big wins, but equally dropped some key points against some of those teams around them at the bottom of the ladder. That had a real 6-point flavour around it. St George under Steve Karavitzakis now picking up that 3-2 victory. And the big 2-1, 7-6 derby over at the Palace last night. Marconi, who really dominated the first half, perhaps could have been 3 or 4 up. Temolkovsky scoring an absolute screamer after an assist early on. That's a great run forward. Is that going to be awarded a penalty? The referee not hesitating there. He thought the challenge was inside the box, and he points to the penalty spot. And APIA able to puncture the centre of Rockdale's defence. Rory Jordan was the player bursting through, and he was upended by Speranza. And APIA have the opportunity now from the penalty spot. 10 minutes into this second half, and Speranza goes into the book. Alec Urushevsky just having a chat with the assistant on the far side. Matt Harris perhaps arguing that the foul was committed just outside the box, but the referee seeing that it was just inside the box, and Rory Jordan's been upended. And APIA have a great opportunity now from the penalty spot to take the lead. They've got the edge over Rockdale this season, winning the only match so far back in round 11. And wouldn't this be a storyline at the top of the competition? Would keep things very tight if APIA can convert here and put the pressure on Rockdale. Up against Nick Soros, and it's Jack Stewart. The keeper does get a touch to it, but Stewart opens the scoring, and APIA take a 1-0 lead. Stewart with his 9th of the campaign. And after the good work through the middle of the park, with Rory Jordan upended, Stewart, the keeper to his credit, did get a touch to it, but he couldn't keep it out. And APIA lead it by 1-0. They'll feel that that's a goal that they have deserved, particularly based on the opening period where they controlled, created the most opportunities. And now here's Kasalovic coming forward, and it's Stewart again, and suddenly APIA in behind. Once again, Kasalovic trying to pick up the loose ball, and now Armson, and he couldn't keep his shot down. And that was another great opportunity for the visitors. APIA, who meet Rockdale in the Waratah Cup final, looking to make a real dent mentally as far as the domination this season is concerned. They feel like they were the dominant side, picking up that 3-2 win back in round 11 at Leichhardt Oval. And it's been a match that they have controlled for the largest part so far. They had a fierce wind behind them in the first half. Maybe it's died down just a little bit. Not quite as blustery as it was. Rockdale looking to hit back, and they've got it forward. They tried to get it quickly to Urushevsky. For once, he couldn't get it under control. Now Jordan looking to take on Hunter Elliott, who does really well to get it forward to Constable. A challenge coming from Uchino. It's going to be a throw in on this near side to the home side. The storyline is developing after suffering only their 4th loss of the season last week against Sydney Olympic. That late dramatic winner from Tenqual. Rockdale trail here at home. A place that they have only lost once this season. They're coming into this round with 8 wins in a row here at home. So they've got the job ahead of them. A real test of their resilience and character. Trailing last year's premiers with half an hour remaining. We are going to see a change, and it is going to be Chalakian who makes way. So Rashudo, the player who comes on. Chalakian can focus now on the midweek Australia Cup match against Newcastle Jets. But Rashudo, who's been the hero for Rockdale with a couple of late winners, a couple of late dramatic winners here at home this season. One against the Western Sydney Wanderers, which stands out. Can he make an immediate impact? Also popped up with a winner against Spirit FC on the road recently. Can he make an immediate impact as Georgia Esperanza looks to stand this one up towards Sun Mola, but a little bit too much on it. What a thrilling half hour we've got for you here at the Rockdale Ilinden Sports Centre. Spread the word. Join the conversation. NPL NSW is the hashtag. Can Rockdale get themselves back into this? APIA, who haven't had a victory since that round 23 3-2 victory over the Sutherland Sharks. 4 matches in a row where they've picked up only 2 points. Mentioned that it's a goal they'll feel that it's deserved. Here's Rashudo. He's gone into an advanced position. Looks like he's going to get as high as possible, trying to join Urushevsky in a front two. He's an adaptable player back in the NPL New South Wales. A real favourite here at Rockdale. These things are not easy to win, as we've seen over the years. Rockdale felt that they had a terrific buffer at the top of the ladder. Suddenly everything's got close again. Marconi, no doubt, will be sitting back watching this. They won't mind at all if Rockdale are beaten here by the other Italian side in the NPL New South Wales competition. As APIA come forward now through Gibson. And that was important work as Hunter Elliott got back, but suddenly Cambiashi has burst forward into the box and then lost his footing just as he was about to whip in across. And there's a yellow card for having a bit too much to say, no doubt. Team Pelikanos going into the book of Stephen Lucas. Shalakin was the other Rockdale player on a yellow card, but he's since been replaced by Rashudo. Here's Roberto Esperanza. Header from Collins. Getting another substitute or two ready here at Rockdale. Bay Antonio and so Kataoka, the 2 players getting readied by the coaching staff. And it will be Pelikanos who's just been issued that yellow card, as well as Yinka Sunmola. They make way on the far side. So Kataoka will no doubt go into that midfield, and Bay Antonio a direct replacement for Yinka Sunmola. So 3 changes now for Rockdale as they look to wrestle a bit of initiative. It hasn't quite flowed in the front third or the midfield third as well. Game which APIA will feel they've dominated. But Rockdale have still got time. Here's Kasalovic. relishing his opportunity for a start this afternoon. Collins has got some work to do. Constable away. Lovely touch from Josh Simmons. Kambiashi with a burst forward. Always drama when it comes to the NPL. New South Wales and APIA are writing another chapter in this season 2024. Are we going to see Rockdale lose back-to-back for the first time this season as Armson forces a terrific save? Soros there, got down. He's produced another great stop. Player who's back here at Rockdale. After a spell at Sydney Olympic. But for a couple of his saves, the scoreline might have been bigger in the favour of APIA as Kambiashi comes forward. And there was Hunter Elliott getting across. There were a couple of appeals for handball, but it looked like it might have hit the chest there of Elliott. Kambiashi just going to check up on his opponent. Good sportsmanship there. Jack Stewart, if you're just joining us, giving APIA the lead on 58 minutes from the penalty spot. Here comes the corner. Armson tries to attack the near post again. Here's Kambiashi. Now Jordan. Now Armson. Can they link it up? Kambiashi. That was good work from Armson. Keep the pressure on in that front third. APIA have got it where they want it. They've got a 1-0 lead. Rockdale are being asked to defend. 59 points coming in. Still alive here for APIA. Elliott happy to let this one run though. So Rockdale 59. Marconi after their 2-1 victory yesterday, moving up to 56. They know that Rockdale have got a big game next week. Away to the Wollongong Wolves. They've proved difficult to beat. They're in the top 6 at the moment. David Carney's side. So no, definitely not an easy match to come next week. Marconi will be in action on Saturday. So if they can... If the score stays as it is and Rockdale don't pick up points today, then Marconi, can you believe, might be at close of business Saturday night. At the top of the ladder, virtue of goal difference. That would be quite the storyline. As APIA look to test the keeper again. Soros produces another good save. Well, the flag did go up in any case. Marconi away to St George FC next Saturday night. Rockdale, on the other hand, they're in action next Sunday away to the Wolves. Still plenty to come though in this one. APIA so far so good, but they'll know that they need to see it out and get the job done. If they can hang on to their lead, it will take them up to 51 points. They were close to within 8 of Rockdale and 5 of Marconi And you just never know. Twist and turn. The storyline's changing every week. Rockdale looked at times like they had an unassailable lead. Antonio judged to have made the foul there on that far side on Dakota Rescue. He was hoping that he was going to slip that one into Urushevsky. They have had a bit of a turn, a storyline developing over at Landon Stadium. Western Sydney Wanderers a red card, and then suddenly Blacktown City with a couple of quick goals as Stewart asks another question. Rockdale doing the work defensively, but they want it to be at the other end at the moment. To the final 20 minutes here at the Rockdale Ilinden Sports Centre. Thanks for your company wherever you are watching. Spread the word. Dramatic finish. Are we going to see another one? As Armson aims towards Moatamalo. But Soros doing well there, the big custodian. Can they mount some late pressure? They've brought on Rashudo. Since then, it's been more about the defensive work. Can they mount some pressure at the other end? Rashudo's on by Antonio. They've got it aiming towards Constable. But Buzanis, who hasn't had too much to do in this second period. He produced an early save to deny Constable in the opening 5 or so minutes. He hasn't had too much to do this afternoon. Anthony Buzanis. Is the momentum going to turn? Can Rockdale mount some pressure late on? There's another coming together. Uchino up against Rashudo. Referee says play on. Simmons looks to find the feet of Gibson. Collins with the defensive work. Kataoka. Sign of the frustration at the moment for the home side. Not quite coming together as far as the combination play is concerned. We've seen them flow so much throughout the season. In fact, even last week, in that first half, they really dominated Sydney Olympic. Here's a great opportunity coming forward. Bay Antonio was upended just outside the box. The referee was right on the spot to adjudicate there. The Rockdale players and fans on the other side feeling that might have been a penalty. Are we going to see a yellow card issued here? Stephen Lucas just coming across. It looks like Moatamalo is the player he's seeking out. And that is Moatamalo who goes into the book. Referee just making sure he acknowledges the yellow card. He tried to walk away from the scene of the crime. There's a bit of gamesmanship going on here. Rockdale want to take it quickly. APIA just holding them up. The referee will take control. He's just marking down the number 15 for APIA. For that yellow ticket. And Kataoka, we've seen his deliveries in recent weeks. He did start here in that match against Sydney United, 58, and I thought his deliveries from the set pieces were exceptional. Can he provide the quality coming off the bench for the home side? Buzanis has organised a two-man wall. Kataoka's got the tall timber in there. Collins has gone forward. Speranza's in there. Bayantoni is sniffing about, and Urushevsky's always a presence. Great ball in. Rashudo is there. And it's still alive, and Urushevsky's denied. Or was it Antonio? The keeper, Buzanis, makes a terrific stop. A wonderful reaction stop. And APIA able to absorb that period of pressure. What a great opportunity it was. Rockdale, they haven't had too much pressure, too many moments in that opposition 18-yard box. But that was perhaps one of their best. Buzanis, though, coming up big for APIA Leichhardt. Sit back, relax. We're going to see a thrilling finish to this one. It just sends some more drama. And more big storylines are evolving. Over the top it goes. Urushevsky's in behind. One-on-one chance. And it's Alec Urushevsky who draws Rockdale level. Having just been denied by Buzanis, Rockdale's top scorer, last year's Golden Boot and Player of the Year, has got him behind and level things up for the home side. We're back at 1-1. And Rockdale have a real sniff about them now. They're chasing a long desired title. They've led throughout season 2024. But just as the question's been asked, they've found an answer. And now they've got the confidence. Can they find themselves a winner? Their record at home's been impeccable in season 2024. What about the finish there? You just knew it. As soon as Urushevsky was in behind, there's no one as composed. And he put it past Buzanis to make it 1-1. Approaching 30 now for the season. After 27 last year, the competition's leading scorer is on his way to a Golden Boot. He might even double up the Player of the Year back to back. But the thing he covets most is a premiership for the club he loves, Rockdale Ilinden. They know that the job's not done yet. As things stand, they'll move to 60 points and be 4 clear of the Marconi Stallions. Expect another twist or turn or two as Kataoka dinks this one over the top with Bayantoni adding some freshness on that far side, looking for Urushevsky. And he asked the question there of Temba Moatamalo, who had to deal with that defensively. Dramatic scenes here at Rockdale. They've got a corner which they thought about taking quickly, but Kataoka, and I think this is the percentage play with the quality of his deliveries in recent weeks. He's going to ask a question here of APIA, looking right into the sun. Is Buzanis and the APIA rear guard. They whip it in low. Still alive as Collins puts the pressure on there. Collins was there to try and pick up the pieces, the big central defender. And he wasn't too far away from latching onto that and making it 2-1. Any good contact there, and that might have been difficult for Buzanis. APIA have really dominated. They've been the team that have really asked the questions at the other end. They've had the crossbar deny them. The keeper on multiple occasions as well. Saurus has had a terrific afternoon. But as things stand, it's 1-1. And Rockdale suddenly looking to turn the momentum. And there's a great opportunity by Antonio, who was just in an offside position. Lovely shape on that from Constable. Antonio got to it first, but the flag was up on the opportunity now to try and shift the momentum back in their favour. They're going to make 2 changes. Nick Gazzoni and Alex Denmead, the players coming on for Rory Jordan and Adrian Uccino. So 2 changes for APIA. like-for-like swaps with Uchino dropping out of the midfield. Atsoni dropping straight into there, and Alex Denmead, the youngster, a like-for-like swap for Rory Jordan. What a terrific contest. 10 or so minutes of regular time, and whatever additional time the referees add. This is a great opportunity now for Jack Stewart. He looks to whip it across. Still alive with Dakota Askew, and a strong hand. Soros again. Had to get a real strong right fist to that, the keeper. That was a important contribution. What a 10 minutes we've got for you here at the Rockdale Ilinden Sports Centre to round out round 26 of the NPL Men's New South Wales. 4 rounds to come after this, and the race is on in earnest for the premiership as APIA look to ask another question. Here's Rashudo coming forward now. Suddenly, the narrative around this match has shifted completely. And what an opportunity now for Armson. He looks to burst forward. And importantly, it was the fresh legs of Bay Antonio. He got back quickly. Exactly what you want from your fresh substitutes. He's trying to do it at the other end, but there he was, doing it defensively. Coming forward, and the keeper Buzanas just getting to it ahead of Antonio again. Esperanza with a late challenge against him by the midfielder. In fact, it's Detroyer who has come on, and he's going to go into the book. So Detroyer who came on for Gibson. It's another one added to the yellow card tally, which is mounted in this second half. Seen red cards around the grounds this afternoon, hoping to avoid one here. Did see a red card the last time we were here a fortnight ago for match of the round. Liam McGing for that challenge on Courtier. Here's an opportunity now for the home side. Constable is looking to go to work on Kambiashi. Back out now to Elliott. Rashudo, and it goes all the way across to Giorgio Speranza. And what about the block there? Mawatamalo coming across with a heroic piece of defending. It looked like Giorgio Speranza was in, as it had avoided 2 or 3 players on the edge of the 18-yard box. And his eyes lit up, Giorgio Speranza. But what about the defensive work as Mawatamalo came across? The atmosphere is certainly ramping up here at Rockdale as we head towards the final 5 minutes. APIA, who've dominated and controlled for large parts, but Rockdale are coming home with a flurry. They've found an equaliser. They're showing their resilience. Can they find themselves a winner to keep their buffer atop the ladder as Rashudo turns on that? Various times their lead at the top of the ladder has gone to double figures. The loss last week has made things tight. The wiggle room gets less and less as the weeks go past. Here's Apia now with Denmead, and he hits the post. Follow-up effort from Armson is high and wide, but Denmead got him behind, and it took the effort. Keeper Insaurus, he might have got a touch to that as well. He's been almighty for Rockdale. If they do come away with the 3 points or even a point today, they're going to have their keeper to thank for a massive shift between the sticks. Former Australian Youth International. He went away to the Under-17s World Cup back in 2015. Certainly making a name for himself here this afternoon. You just don't know which way this one will go. Chances at both ends. Two teams that love to play open, attacking football. And they're going to go for it. It's the philosophy for both of these clubs. And I'm going to sit back and be happy with a point. They want the 3. And APIA have got Tony joining the attack. Has he left a bit of space for Rashudo to exploit? Urushevsky's the target here. One-on-one against Josh Simmons, who didn't hesitate. That was heads-up play. He threw it against Simmons there, did Urushevsky, because he didn't have too much support in attack. Always thinking, always so clever. Crafty football. And Rockdale, as a result, have possession in the front third. And they've got Gataoka. Antonius really made a difference in this second half, and he was looking for Urushevsky there. Since coming on, Antonio has added some real thrust down that left-hand side. And Rockdale are coming home with a real bang at the moment. Can they find themselves a winner and restore their 6-point buffer atop the NPL men's ladder? Here is Gataoka. Stands this one up, looking for Rashudo, who got the climb on. And it's still on here. Constable, and now the follow-up from Daniel Collins. Can you believe that? The central defender has popped up with a crucial goal for the home side. They've been knocking and knocking the last 10 or so minutes, and they go off to celebrate with the fans. And that could prove a crucial moment. A game which APIA have controlled and dominated throughout. But Rockdale have kept in it. Urushevsky with the equaliser. And now with the seconds from the set piece, Daniel Collins pops up with a goal that could keep them 6 points atop the ladder. And Marconi, who thought that they might have had a chance to close in at the close of business today, that buffer might be back out to 6 points. Talk about drama and theatre in the New South Wales National Premier League. It's come in spades today, but credit to Rockdale. They've shown their resilience, they've shown their qualities, and their record at home. Only one loss so far this season. They've been asked a question here by APIA. And what about the emphatic response since that Urushevsky equaliser? They've made the changes. It sparked the reaction. And their keeper, who's been dynamic and huge throughout. Out now through Kambiashi. APIA, who've had most of the chances in this one. Summing up their recent run. But is there time for a more late dramatic NPL Men's New South Wales action? As we do approach stoppages, our fourth official just getting the board readied. There will definitely be a few minutes. There have been plenty of substitutions. And APIA will look to find an equaliser here. Soros has been unbeatable for large parts of this match. Even the penalty, he got a hand to that. And Rockdale will come forward quickly. And they're happy to push it out now through Constable. What a terrific contest it's been. We've seen drama aplenty. I called a game here between Rockdale and the Wanderers where they came from 2 down to win 3-2. And they're showing their resilience yet again here. We saw them pick up a late winner earlier in the season at Sydney United Sports Centre. We saw them win late in a dramatic fashion against Spirit FC. It's been the storyline this season as they bring on Lockie Griffiths for an attacker. So a defender for an attacker. They go to a back three. Lockie Constable's a player that makes way. And they've got it right where they want it now. After defending for large parts, they've got it exactly where they want it. A corner, and you sense they won't be in any hurry to take this one. As the board goes up to indicate 4 additional minutes. So we'll have 4 additional minutes here at the Rockdale Ilinden Sports Centre. 4 minutes for Rockdale to hang on. APIA, the frustration for them. It's been their storyline just even in the last few weeks where they feel that they've dominated, controlled large parts of games, haven't been able to put teams away. And against the quality of a team like Rockdale, who'll always get chances and always get a period of control and domination. And if this has whet the appetite, remember these two are meeting again in only a couple of weeks in the Waratah Cup final. As things stand, they're splitting the results. APIA got the win at home earlier in the campaign, round 11. Rockdale seeking the revenge here. But more important than that, seeking the 3 points to keep their position at the top of the ladder as Rashudo joins those players booked in the second half for that challenge on Jack Armson. APIA, who've created so many chances in open play, but their only goal has come from a penalty on 58 minutes. This is the 7th of a flurry of games in 22 days, 7 matches, and they thought that they were going to round it out as they started against the Sharks with a victory. As things stand, it's going to be 3 losses unless they can find a dramatic equaliser. Just quickly updating around the grounds. Blacktown City now 3-0 up over the Western Sydney Wanderers, and it remains 1-1 between the Central Coast Mariners and St George City. Approaching the final few minutes in both of those matches. Not in any hurry with the restart, Rockdale. Mwatamalo with the climb. Had a couple of minutes already of the additional time. So they can't be too long for APIA to try and find themselves an equaliser. An equaliser, if it does come, which could still prove a real key moment in the NPL New South Wales season. Rockdale looking to make it 9 wins in a row at home and 10 for the season. They've only lost once here. Their proud record. Yellow card. That time it looks like it might have been to Bray Ovens for kicking that one away, one of the substitutes for Rockdale. He got himself a goal in the earlier match, a 3-0 win in the under-20s for Rockdale. But this is the one that they were after. And Stephen Lucas just having a look at his watch. And he brings the whistle to his mouth to end a dramatic come-from-behind victory for the home side. Their 9th straight win at home, and they rebound after that late dramatic loss at Sydney Olympic last week. This is a huge victory for Rockdale Ilinden in their pursuit for the premiership in season 2024. And you can see with the reaction of the juniors coming onto the pitch and the way that they've got around their keeper in Nick Soros. He was colossal today. He produced save after save for the home side. And in the end, Urushevsky and the man they called DC, Daniel Collins, popped up with the goals in the second half after Jack Stewart had given APIA a 1-0 lead from the penalty spot. We always talk about the storylines and the drama that follows in NPL Men's New South Wales. And this has been one for the ages here at the Rockdale Ilinden Sports Centre. How seismic could that be in the context of the 2024 season? Rockdale coming from behind for a 2-1 victory over APIA. And they will look forward now to Wednesday, a big one here against the Newcastle Jets. A-League opposition here in the round of 32 for the Australia Cup. Jump on the Rockdale Ilinden socials and website for all the ticket information for that. Make sure you get out here. This has been quite the afternoon at Rockdale, and Wednesday is set to be a classic as well. It's been a pleasure to have your company. Tony Tanous wrapping up a big scoreline here with Rockdale coming from behind for a 2-1 victory over APIA. We'll see you again soon. Otherwise, tickets will be available